Is that Mary Poppins? Hi you guys, good evening. I have been in the kitchen this afternoon, and since I'm back in getting ready for dinner tonight, I figured I would show you what I'm doing. I've done this before, but there are a lot of new members here, so I thought I would do it again. Why not share since I'm doing it anyway? So we love lasagna, and I have made it with zucchini noodles before. I know you can make it with eggplant. Singing some Mary Poppins. Anyway, I like to have lasagna that reminds me of the real thing, so I am going to make a noodle, but this noodle does not have, like I said, any veggies in it, and it also does not have any flour in it. So carbs are super low. It has eggs and some spices, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese. I think that's it. Let me actually grab my recipe. And I've written it down. I can take a picture of it if you want, but I like to organize it in amounts. Can you guys see how I have like the pinch, what we're taking a pinch of, what we have a quarter teaspoon of, or a half and a quarter teaspoon of. So it just makes it faster. This is super easy to put together, and it's in the oven for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then it's ready to go. And because I have, whoops, my battery's low. Let's hope it doesn't die. I have already made some. I'm going to freeze some for another lasagna. You can also keep them in the fridge, but I'll have one to show you that's already come out of the oven. It's that fast, and I've just thrown it together. So sometimes I double this recipe, but lately I've not been doing that. I like to put them in these aluminum pans, these disposable ones, for a couple of reasons. One, they fit in here really well. 2 layers of noodles, so you have 6 noodles. And also sometimes we don't eat it all, so I can freeze this easily. And then sometimes I also share with people who need a meal, so it's easy just to give them this and they don't have to return the pan. So that's why I like to use these. Okay, so we're gonna start off. I'm gonna turn the camera here so you guys can watch what I'm doing. You can see our chopples from earlier today. Okay, so
it's not part of the thing.
No, that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna have 2 eggs, which I have right here.
Egg.
I'm gonna dump them in. See how long this takes me to see how fast you can do it. Okay, got my napkin right here. So you have your eggs, and you're gonna put your cream cheese in, which is 4 ounces. And you can either let it sit out and come to room temperature, or you can put it in the microwave at 50% power for like 20 or 30 seconds at a time until it's the right consistency, which is not melted or cooked, but soft. Let me grab it out of the microwave. That's what mine looks like. You can see it's soft. So I'm gonna dump this in. Whoops. I also like to use my plates to put my dirty utensils, so I don't like to clean up any more messes than necessary. Okay, so, hey you guys.
Sorry.
Will you turn it down, please? Fortnite in the background, if any of you guys have kids who play Fortnite. Okay, so your goal is to incorporate the eggs and the cream cheese without making the eggs too frothy and whipping them. So here we go. Let's see how we get it done. I wish you guys could be in my kitchen right now because I've already made some of these. I can smell it. It smells so good. I mean, it's like...
I want to smell it.
You've been in the kitchen, so you probably don't smell it anymore.
I can't smell it.
You can come over and smell the one that I made that's right over here. It has spices like thyme and rosemary and marjoram and basil and oregano, onion powder and garlic powder.
And pizza powder.
You're silly. Okay, that's enough. Starting to get a little frothy there. Okay, so you've added those 2. Now you're going to add your 1/4 cup of, getting text from my son, of Parmesan cheese. You can either have grated or shredded. This is, I guess this is called shredded. It doesn't really matter. It's going to go in regardless. So I'm just going to pour it in my 1/4 cup measuring cup. That.
Mommy,
Now I'm going to add my spices.
Oh, I could go make some meat.
Yeah, I am going to make the meat, but I'm going to do that after I pick up your brother and your dad. We have one who's at paintball right now and one who is flying in from Huntington in Connecticut. So
Get to go to paintball.
Okay, Belly, hush, hush. Okay, we have a pinch of marjoram, a pinch of thyme, and a pinch of rosemary. Of course, if you have these fresh from a garden, definitely use those. Those would be even more authentic. I grew up going to an Italian lady's house, and she used to serve fresh donuts and bread every morning. We used to pick fruit and vegetables from her garden, so I know all about Italian food. She was amazing. Mama Fina, Serafina Pasquale. Anyway, okay, on to other things here. Okay, so now we have, this is my half a teaspoon.
Pepper.
Nope, this is actually
A quarter pepper.
basil, which is one of my favorite spices. Annabelle Kate, say excuse me. Lord of mercy. Okay, whew. Basil, half a teaspoon. Oregano, half of a teaspoon. Just dumping them in there. And now I have my quarter teaspoon of my garlic powder and my onion powder. I was amazed when we first had this because I did not think it would taste as good or feel like real lasagna, but it's so good. And I know that some of you are watching who have made it before. Joy, I know you've made it. I think Amanda's made it. Yeah, so delicious. Okay, we've got all those in there, and now we're going to mix this together, which won't take very long. Okay, and it says to fold in your mozzarella, but I don't do that. Folding in just means taking your spatula or your spoon and kind of folding in towards the center, but it doesn't really matter, and I'm all about speed here. So I'm going to get my 1 1/4 cup mozzarella, shredded mozzarella. Certain brands have more net carbs in them than others. You can check that out at your store, but it's still pretty low. So 1, and this is my 1/4 cup. And now we're going to mix it up. It's not going to look like dough. It's not going to form into a ball. It's actually kind of wet. And that's okay. It doesn't have any baking powder or baking soda or flour in it.
Or baking anything.
Making room. I can't wait to come to you guys from our new kitchen and our new house, which will hopefully be by December. I'm super excited about that. Okay, so now I take this is a 10 by 15 inch pan. You can cover it with parchment paper or aluminum foil. My aluminum foil is non-stick, so I know it's not going to stick to that. If you don't have non-stick, just spray it or coat it with like some butter or olive oil, coconut oil, whatever you have, so it doesn't stick. These do not stick to my parchment paper, so I'm not going to do that here, but I like to use the parchment paper better. So got my parchment paper over my pan, and I'm just going to pour this out. Oh, I don't think I added the salt. Did it even call for salt? I can't remember. Oh yeah, it did. I didn't put the salt in there, but that's okay. I didn't put it in the last one anyway. You can also salt the top of it, and then depending on your tomato sauce or your meat sauce, you can also salt it there. That'll be creamy. And the cheese is salty as well anyway, so we'll be good.
Where's this gone?
The plan here is to spread this out as thin as you can without having any holes, and try to take up the whole pan, the whole 10 by 15.
Well, where's the grape gum?
I don't know. Is it in my bag? Keep looking. If you put it back in there, it should be in there. Just kind of have to mash it out. Start from the middle and pull to the edges like that.
I put your wallet back in there.
I know. I thought you got gum out earlier, though.
I did.
Yeah, we'll go see if you can find it. It takes just a minute. This is probably what seems to take the longest. Just spreading it out, trying to get to the edges. I like things to be square and even, and it's easier to cut also to make your noodles when it finishes baking. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm going to set this aside and put it in the oven in a second. I'm going to show you the one that I've already completed. So hold on just a sec. this is what it looks like in the oven at 375 for, it's about 15 minutes. I always set my timer for 10 and check it, and sometimes I move it from the bottom rack up to the second rack or the top rack if it looks like it's getting burnt on the bottom. It totally depends on your oven, if it has hot spots. I know all ovens are different. So this is what it looks like. It does not stick to the parchment paper. Can y'all see that? And I've already cut it. So I take this pan and I kind of measure here the width or the length the noodles need to be. And this I actually have 7 noodles instead of 6, but I will take these when I make my sauce, and I like to cover them in cream cheese. It's just something that I've done for a really long time. You can also use ricotta. You could use, I've had people use cottage cheese, whatever you want to use. I don't think it matters. I think it will all taste really good, or a combination thereof if you'd like. Parmesan cheese, whatever, mixed in there. And I'm going to cover it with the cream cheese, and I'll lay them in like this. And then I'm going to dump my sauce on it, and then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of probably mozzarella or a pizza combo of cheese, or Italian cheese. They have all different combinations. Provolone, and what's the other one? I guess I even have taco cheese. It doesn't have taco seasoning in it, but you can use whatever you have. It's going to taste really good. And then I'm going to do a second layer, and I can use my extra piece to kind of fill in the gaps. So then I'll coat it with cream cheese, I'll put my sauce on, and then I'll put more cheese on. And then I'll put my layers like this, and it will fill up to the top, and then I'll put some cheese on top and stick it in the oven. It is really delicious. If any of you guys have had it before, certainly comment below so that everybody can see that I'm telling you the truth. And that's it. I have not made the sauce yet. I'm going to do that when I get back. Let's see if anybody has any questions. Yes, Joy, it is delicious. Hi, Kate. And that's it. So you can wrap these up. Stuff going on here. And I will wrap one of my sets up in press and seal, and then also wrap it in aluminum foil and stick it in the freezer. So then I can pull these out and just let them defrost in the fridge, or set them out while I'm cooking my meat sauce next time, so that they'll be ready to go in the oven. And you can actually, even if they're not all the way thawed, they can still put them in the oven and they'll defrost when you're cooking your lasagna. So you're welcome, Nancy. Yes, Tammy, I'm gonna post the recipe for sure. I'll put it in the comments, I think. And I got this original recipe off of a recipe on Pinterest.
Mommy?
Hold on just a sec, I'm almost finished. But I've edited a couple of the instructions. So I'll put the edited version on there. I feel like it works the best. If you like, I think the original instructions say that you can put these in a 9x13 pan and actually make it in a loaf pan, which you would have 3 layers of noodles, but that to me, it got kind of tall and I couldn't fit it all in my loaf pan, and a loaf pan is not gonna feed me and my husband and my children. So I try to spread it out.
You don't even like that.
Yes, you do. You eat it, and so does Cole. You can see how thin they are.
Eat what?
Lasagna.
I thought you were talking about the thing you're making right now.
Yeah, these go in the lasagna. These are the noodles. So they're not super thick, and they're super yummy. So I hope you guys have found this helpful. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll post a picture of my lasagna later. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great night. Bye.